we're going to start with defensive line alignment. When we line up head up on a center, we're playing a 0 tech. When we line up head up on a guard, we're playing a 2 tech. When we line up head up on a tackle, we're playing a 4 tech. When we line up head up on a tight end, we're playing a 6 tech. And if we line up head up on a wing back, then we're playing an 8 tech. If we line up outside shaded on a center, we're playing a 1 tech. If we play outside shaded on a guard, we're playing a 3 tech. If we line up outside shaded on a tackle, we're playing a 5 tech. If we line up outside shaded or further out on a tight end, then we're playing a 9 tech. When we line up inside shaded on a guard, we're playing a 2 inside tech. When we line up inside shaded on a tackle, we're playing a 4 inside tech. And when we line up inside shaded on a tight end, we're playing a 7 tech. Usually in real life, when we're playing an even number technique, we're playing a 2 gap. And when we line up in an odd number tech, we play a 1 gap. What this would mean would be that in a 2 gap defense with a 0, a 4, a 4, and a 6, when the running back goes to the right, we're going to take full on our lineman and play the gap toward the running back. When our running back goes to the left, we're going to take full on our man and then play to the running back. In 1 gap defense, like above, with a 5 tech, a 1 tech, a 3 tech, and a 7 tech, regardless if the running back goes right or left, we're playing through our own gap. So our 5 tech can take half the man, play the gap. Our 1 tech can play half the center into the gap. Our 3 tech can play half the guard into the gap, and our end is going to take on the tight end from half man and into the gap. Now we're going to talk about run fits. There's a gap between each of the offensive players. Gap here, gap here, gap, 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 gap. Our defensive players are responsible for the gaps. Our 1 gap defense and our linebackers are responsible for the rest of the gaps. Our inside linebackers and our outside. He'll cover any cutbacks, backside. We have to adjust our gaps for pulls, kickouts, and added players. Example will be our fullback on isolation. We'll have our typical gaps, but now our fullback has inserted in between, creating another gap in the middle. So our defensive line have their gap, our outside, the insides, and our cutback we fill in back into the middle. For a pulling guard, we're now moving a gap. So we have our typical gap, but now we only have one gap here, and we'll create a new gap to the outside. Our defensive lines will have their gap outside, and now he still has the cutback. On a typical isolation play, our defensive line hit, so now our 1 and 3 tech are being double teamed. Their responsibility is to hit their gap, roll, creating a 3-man pileup, and do not let a lineman get past and block our linebackers. Our inside linebacker to the right is going to be reading guard to running back. He's going to see the guard block in, bounce, and read through to float at him. He's going to tack the fullback in the hole and then try to cross his face, fill in the hole, or making the tackle. Our left inside linebacker, you can be reading guard through to the running backs. He's going to read block, bounce, flow away, get behind the 1 tech, and going to read the running back the hole. He's going to hit, make the tackle, cut back, he's going to cut and make the tackle. Our outside linebackers are going to be reading tackle or in-man on the line of scrimmage through the running back. We're going to bounce and then low to keep containment on the outside. Now we're going to talk about run support. There are 2 types of run support: contain and spill. In a contain defense, we want the running back to travel north and south and box the running back inside to make the tackle or have nowhere to go. In a spill defense, we want the running back to travel east and west, and we want to force the running back wide and cut him down with a corner or safety flowing down. Drawn is a typical power O play. The fullback's going to kick out, and the guard's going to pull for the inside linebacker and seal. The running back's going to read the blocks and travel through the gap or bounce around. In this typical defense, it's a contained style. Or outside, linebackers are force, and our inside linebackers are fill. Force players, their job is if the run comes over side and it's out wide, they need to force the ball inside. Fill players, their job is to get inside the force and make the tackle in the gap. Our corners are going to be playing pass first. They'll be dropping back. If their player blocks, then they will come up and fill in as needed. Our deep safety will be reading the number 2. So he'll bounce through the block, flow, linebacker level, and then cover the alley. So if the force player is outside or inside, the force player is inside or outside. So let's see this contained defense. Our defensive line are one gappers. We're going to hit, gap, squeeze, and flow to the running back. Hit, gap, squeeze, flow to the running back. We're going to hit, build a double team, roll, going to 3-man pile up, keep the guard off the linebacker, and we're going to squeeze into this hole, trying to close it. Our 7-tech's going to hit our gap, and then squeeze. Our force player is going to correct arm the kick out, which means we're taking on the outside shoulder, so if the running back bounces, we can hit and flow, making the tackle, and we're forcing the running back inside toward pursuit. Our field player is reading guard to the running back. Our pursuit player is reading guard to the running back. And our backside force will be reading in man to the running back. Our left inside linebacker is going to bounce, read the pull, yell pull, 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 flow behind our 1-tech, and read the gap. If it's open and he can make the tackle, he's going to flow through, make the tackle. If the running back is cutting, we're going to fill and force the running back to cut it back further. Our outside linebacker to the left, he's going to read any form of containment, like the quarterback on a bootleg, read the run, and then flow, inside out, holding cut back. If the running back flow is wide, our player is going to look over the top, inside out, and try to make the tackle. Our right inside linebacker can be reading guard the running back. He's going to bounce, see flow wide, yell it here, pull, 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 and scrape over, take on the guard, try to cross face into the gap and make the tackle. Our deep safety is going to be reading number 2, taking him right into the hole. So the pursuit, are going to make the tackle in the hole, or Phil and Force will make the tackle for a loss. Now we have the parallel play drawn against a typical spill defense. In this defense, we'll have the corners become force. Right side linebacker will be Phil, and our left outside linebacker will be Phil. Our safeties pass first, and our middle linebacker will be pursuing. Our defensive linemen are going to hit their gap, squeeze, pursue the running back. Our 3 techs going to hit, build the double team, hold his gap, and do not let the guard get to the backside linebacker. Our 7 tech going to hit, and he's going to see the down block. And now his job is block down, step down. Which means we're going to flatten and hit the guard pulling, forcing the guard to create a pile up or have to travel around to get to the linebacker. Our outside linebacker is going to wrong arm the kick out, which means we're hitting inside shoulder, forcing the ball carrier to widen. Then we'll cross face and pursue. Our left outside linebacker is going to be guard the running back, bounce, see the pull, yell pull, 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 get behind the 1 tech, read his gap. His running back is coming up, then we need to come make the tackle or fill the gap and force the running back to continue on his wide path. If he widens, then we'll flow over the top, try to make the tackle inside out. Our middle linebacker gonna read guard to running back, bounce, hear the pull, 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 which means he's going to scrape over, take on the guard, cross face, and pursue our running back or make the tackle in the gap. Our corner being forced, gonna come up, see the run, force the running back to cut in to the field, over top. Our receiver blocks our force, then our pass rush player is going to come down and try and make the tackle as well. Our backside force is going to flow back and try to hold any cutback or containment by the QB, and our defensive end will pass contain, and our deep safety is going to pass, see the run, and be flown back over the top.